Coach, your thoughts about today's game? I know you weren't happy going into the half. You guys ended up being able to throw for over 300 yards, had a big rushing day. I know it wasn't the performance you wanted ultimately, but what about your team today?
Well, we're glad we got the win, obviously, to get this one, to get out of here with a win. But I told the team in there, we left 28 points, like easy points, 28, that like easy points, probably 35, 31, 35. We just left. They gifted them to us, and we didn't take advantage of it. And that's what I saw in practice. We just, whether we overthrow or we drop one or we throw it out of bounds or whatever it is, if we don't do it in practice, we ain't going to do it out here. There's no way that game should have been 38-24. It should have been 60. And not taking anything away from them, but, to throw a couple interceptions in the red zone. And I'll give Cam credit. He came out, he made some big plays, big throws, big plays. I'll give him credit. But if you want to be elite and you want to be a great quarterback, you're going to make all the throws. And but again, Cam's a gutsy player. I love Cam. We all love Cam. He's a great leader. But he has to make a license. And we cannot drop balls. We can't drop them. When we got a touchdown, we got to have them.
Defensively, you talked about at halftime that you gave up a couple scores that you weren't happy about in the second half. You forced them into a field goal situation where you ended up getting the block. The defense really stood up for you in the second half.
Okay, average probably. We got to play way better than that on defense. There's no question about it. So I give those guys an average grade, which is probably C. We got to be better than that. Elon's going to be a pretty good football team.
2-2 as you get set to go into league play. You have a lot to build on. What's next when you go on the road into Elon next week?
We got to practice great. We had a terrible Wednesday practice offensively, and all the stuff you saw out here that went wrong. That's what happened on Wednesday's practice. We got to continue to get better, and we got to take it upon ourselves that whatever happens in practice is what's going to happen in the game. It's 100%. So we got to get better all the way across the board. I thought our offensive line did a great job. They protected Cam really well. We had some creases in there in the running game, so I'm proud of the offensive line. We had some wideouts that stepped up, made some big catches for us. No question about that. Cam made some big-time throws. Defensively, we were kind of flip-flopping around out there, not near good enough.
From a personnel perspective, you were missing some parts this week. What are you looking at as you go into conference play? Do you think you'll get those guys back? How do you feel about your team as far as health goes and guys coming back from injury and coaches' decisions?
I would guess we're getting Nick DeGennaro back for sure. I would think. Keith Govea, no, we won't get him back. He'll be done for the season. Whether Kyle comes back or not, we'll see how he progresses. We'll see how his ankle is. He's got a mild high ankle sprain. So hopefully, not playing today, some rest Sunday, rest Monday. We'll see where he is for Tuesday's practice.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. We'll see you at Elon.
Thanks, Matt.
Landon, a game where you guys threw for over 300 yards. You had a running back score 3 touchdowns. I know it wasn't perfect on offense, but talk to me about, let's start with that huge touchdown catch you had.
Yeah, I knew I needed to step up with Deej out. 5 went out late in the game, so somebody had to make a play. And why not me,
Tell me about the play. What was it, and how did it develop for you?
Well, it's actually a deep shot to Jerry, and I guess they dropped with him, and Cam hit me late in the read. And it was just nobody there. Turned my head, saw J5's guy was basically on the sideline, got to run. Jerry made a great block. His man was on the ground, so I was like, yeah, got to get in there.
It's always been a football mantra, the next man up. Everyone talks about that. A really good, indication of that today. You had some injuries on the offensive side. Talk to me about the opportunity you got.
I've been waiting for this for a long time. Last year was kind of rough for me mentally. As a player, I didn't feel like myself. And so this offseason, I was just trying to get back to my good headspace, my high school headspace, and be a dog. And today, I felt like that was my opportunity. I've been waiting for it, and I made it happen.
What was the difference in the second half and the first half? There were a few deep balls that weren't complete in the first half. Just looked like you guys were missing a few of those, but in the second half, they really started to materialize.
I don't know, just maybe a step slower. We came out pretty flat energy-wise off the bus. We had a long travel day yesterday. It's no excuse, but we got to come out more fired up, more locked in, ready to go.
2-2, win here on the road. You go back on the road again next week. You start into conference play. How do you feel like this team is, and what do you need to do this week to be successful next weekend?
We just got to work on the little things. Keith Cavea is always talking to me about details. Details, details, details. Every time we go out on the field, he's telling me details. And that's what we got to work on. We had a couple passes today, fingertip away, maybe missing a block every here and there. We got to just tighten up and get the details right.
We talked about the passing game before I let you go. What about the running game? You guys were able to do both things well today.
It's great. You know, in the receiver room, we take a lot of pride in blocking. Coach O doesn't let us go without blocking, so we try to block for our guys in the backfield. Drew King got his first one today. Real proud of him, known him for a while. ZPS is always going to play good. We know he runs hard. Proud of those guys.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Matt, Chris Anderson up in the booth. Before I go into anything else, he talks about you being a throwback. He said you tackle through the ball. You don't tackle the ball. He wants to know where that comes from. Coaching, or where do you get that mentality in the way that you play defense?
I mean, I think it's just I've always had a natural knack for tackling the ball. I'm just an aggressive guy, and I like hitting people. So that's really all it was. In high school, I was a quarterback for up to my junior year, and then senior year, I transferred to a new school just to play defense, safety. So I've always wanted to play defense.
What's it feel like walking out to midfield as a captain and knowing that it's a reward for what you're doing on the football field? Saw you out there at midfield today, and then you had a huge game for the Spiders.
Man, it was awesome. I just love representing my brothers and just going out there and giving it all.
When you look at the defense today, you guys struggled that first drive of the game. They took it right down the field on you, but then you held them to a field goal later in the half. What were some of the things that were difficult about this guy that I know you'd seen on tape and then playing him in person?
Right, the quarterback, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. You know, he's a dynamic athlete. It was hard to keep him in the pocket. We did do a pretty good job bottling him up all game, but he got out a couple times, bad angles, bad tackling. We knew he was going to be like that, so yeah, that's about it.
Second half, you guys had a back against the wall situation, first down at the 15-yard line. There was a timeout, and you guys talked about how significant it would be to hold them to a field goal attempt. Then you had a couple big tackles for loss. They got them on a hold on you on the sideline there, and then you guys were able to get a hand on the field goal. How big was that possession to get that stop?
It was huge. I mean, they had the momentum coming up to that point, so we really needed that stop for the defense and for the offense, just feeding off each other.
How do you feel like the defense is coming together? I know you've had some guys miss some time here early in the season. As you get set for conference play, what are the things you guys need to do this week?
Man, I feel like we're still trying to build our identity as a team. I mean, we lost some key factors last year, and all it is we just got to find that. I mean, in practice is where it starts, so we'll be working on that come conference play.
Thanks, Matthew. Appreciate it. Good luck next week.